Hi guys, Steady Eddie here, this time talking about tourist traps. No, it's not a vlog about top 10 scams and how to avoid them. I want to talk about tourist traps for two reasons. Firstly, because in a couple of months' time, I will be heading to a place that is quite notorious for being a tourist trap. And secondly, I want to talk about good old Pattaya. Because I've heard in recent times that Walking Street, yes, good old Walking Street, is a bit of a tourist trap. Really? Walking Street Pattaya is a tourist trap? Okay, we'll come back to Walking Street later, but let's establish first of all what a tourist trap is. Well, here's the dictionary definition that I found. A place that attracts many tourists and where the goods and services are more expensive than normal. Well, is that it then? Seems a bit tame to me. When I think of the words tourist trap, I tend to think of something a lot more sleazy. But then that probably says something about me. So this brings me to where I'm going in a couple of months' time. It's a place that's become synonymous with stag do's and lap dancing bars, that sort of thing. It's Krakow in Poland. Sorry, I haven't got any videos to show you on this place because I haven't been there yet, but I've been to many cities in Central and Eastern Europe and I've always wanted to go to that one. Everyone says what a lovely city it is, and of course the nightlife is very, very raunchy. Now the key word here, the way that I say it, is the word trap, as in the tourist being caught in a trap. And the story that I've heard many, many times, and I'm sure you have as well, relates to go-go bars, that sort of thing. So I've been doing a bit of research on Krakow. Is it any good for meeting ladies? What is that raunchy nightlife all about? That sort of thing. And I've looked on the internet, TripAdvisor and a few other sites. And I gotta say, I'm really quite horrified at what I'm reading. To cut a long story short, it seems to me that Krakow is full of tourist traps. Bars with dancing girls, girls who approach you in the street and offer to take you to a nice bar where you'll be ripped off. It seems the whole place is a minefield of temptations and traps all over. And I've read some terrible stories of how guys have been ripped off for vast amounts of money. Just ordinary guys who were told Krakow was a great place with lots of lovely ladies on the spare. Ordinary guys get drunk, get conned, and it ends up costing them a small fortune. So this is what I think when I hear the words tourist trap. This scenario involving pole dancing bars where gullible men end up running a massive bill and then being forced to pay up, or else they'll face the gorillas on the door. This is the real tourist trap. And it's been going on for years. I first heard of this sort of thing in the West End of London, where a guy bought a couple of drinks for a dancing girl. Next thing you know, he's run up a massive bill and he's being frog-marched to the ATM to withdraw his hard-earned cash. The story that I used to hear is that these peep show places did have a drinks price menu, but it was obscured by huge plants, so the poor geezer couldn't see it. Well, anyway, this story goes on and on, from London to Istanbul to Florida and Vegas. I've heard stories of guys being conned of literally thousands of pounds, dollars, euros in these places. Not only that, but in some places, these dancing girl joints are run by gangsters, so it's not just your money that you risk losing. Jesus, look at this poor geezer here, ripped off for 30 grand in one night. 30 grand! You could buy a decent second-hand Mercedes for that. It's a terrible occurrence and I hate hearing about it. These guys go to these countries, these city breaks, for a good time. They want to drink, eat, be merry, and these sly, sinister bastards in these tourist traps take them from every penny that they've got. It's maddening, it's sickening, I hate hearing about it. And I'm just glad that it's never happened to me. Now, I've been looking at these reports on the internet about Prague and Budapest and Krakow, and what people often say about these places is that they will only end up cheating themselves out of business. People will get wise to their scam and they will simply stop going. Wrong. They won't stop going at all. People will continue going to these places despite all the cautions that they receive. They will continue to get drunk, continue to behave reckless, and they will continue to get stung for mega amounts of money. Why do these guys get ripped off? Well, I can only conclude that it's both ignorance and recklessness. These guys go to these cities, they want to see hot ladies dancing, they want to get drunk, and when they get in that environment, all common sense seems to go out of the window. Before you know it, they're handing their credit cards over to the bar, they're buying drinks at inflated prices, they're buying lady drinks at even more inflated prices, they're having private lap dances, and yeah, when that bill finally appears at the end of the night, it is massive. They are faced with a massive bill, and I'm not talking just a massive bill, I'm talking a complete and total rip-off. This is the sad reality of it. What's the old saying? There's one born every minute. My own experience in European cities is that these kind of peep show joints are to be avoided at all costs. Basically, what happens there, you're in one of these places, a bikini-clad girl approaches you, smiles, starts acting friendly, gets a little bit touchy-feely. Next minute, she asks you for a drink, basically. So what is your answer? You don't need to say anything. The slightest nod, a wink, even the tiniest of gestures will be interpreted as get this lady a drink. Before you know it, the drinks are flowing, the dark-suited gorillas are hovering about with sly smirks on their faces. They move fast. They move fast, these people, like rattlesnakes move fast. And before you know it, you are going to be hit with a bill that is probably more than you were planning on spending for your whole holiday. Don't fall victim to it. Do not find yourself in a tourist trap like this, being stung for mega amounts of money. You will regret it. It will leave a terrible bad taste in your mouth, and you will look back on it and think to yourself, how could I have been so stupid? So, okay, we talked about these tourist traps in Europe and elsewhere, but how about Thailand? Do these kind of sly tourist traps exist in Bangkok or Pattaya? Well, before we go into that, let's look at why some people are saying Walking Street, Pattaya, is a tourist trap. Okay, so it's no longer the bargain it once was. I mean, inflation, exchange rate, I'm sure everyone knows about this by now. So if you visit Walking Street, what are you likely to be spending money on? Well, booze and food, I suppose. Yes, there are some expensive restaurants in Walking Street, as there are in many tourist places, but no one forces you to go into them, and there's nothing stopping you looking at the prices menu beforehand. But how about the beer? Well, this could be it. You see, Walking Street prices are more expensive than other areas of Pattaya, such as Krakow area. But there's an element of you get what you pay for. You see, the entertainment in Walking Street is not only more expensive than other areas of Pattaya, it's also better. Yes, some may disagree with that, but check out the live bands and the go-go bars in Walking Street area, and the best of them are better than anywhere else in Pattaya. And when you say tourist trap, well, 130 to 160 Thai baht for a bottle of beer is not cheap, but it ain't bad when you get some really great live bands to go with it. And as for those go-go bars, well, we've already gone through those evil mega rip-off places in Europe and beyond, and I can say, as someone who has visited and thoroughly enjoyed many a Walking Street go-go bar, that there is no tourist trap behaviour that you could find in those other cities. If there is, I've never come across it. The staff in Thai go-go bars are generally well behaved, and providing you use your common sense and don't let your libido get the better of your wallet, you'll be just fine. The Walking Street go-go bars, like the ones I've visited in Nana and Soy Cowboy, are reasonably priced for what you get. There's just 2 points I'd like to make regarding go-go bars. First, if you're going to go in one, make sure it's the go-go bar of your choice. If someone approaches you on the street and shows you a leaflet and offers to take you to a really great go-go bar and whatever, decline the offer. Give it a miss. You walk up and down the street, look for the go-go bar yourself, use your own judgment which is the best one, and that's the one that you go in. Now, of course, there are well-known scams in Pattaya, such as the ping pong scam, the check bin scam, etc. But with a bit of common sense, you can avoid all these. Remember, when most people get scammed, it's probably because they've been a bit reckless. If you're cynical and don't trust people, that's a lot better than all the detailed advice on how to avoid these scams. Make sure you know how much everything is going to cost before you buy it, and if somebody offers you something for free, well, there's no such thing as free. There really isn't. And the other thing I will say is be careful what you're drinking. Remember, imports are expensive. I've seen some blazing rows from customers and staff over the bill, and it seems that customers were caught out when they began buying imports. So the local Thai whiskey could be cheap. As soon as you start drinking imported whiskey or vodka that you used to in your own country, that's when the price rockets up. I gotta say, I can't agree with anyone who says Walking Street Pattaya is a tourist trap. Get yourself ripped off in an Istanbul pole dancing bar and you will soon know what a real tourist trap is all about. And as for those tourist traps in Krakow who were thinking to themselves, just wait till he comes into our joint, we'll soon have him. Well, hard luck, because I won't be going into any. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this one up here. I'll say thanks for watching. Have a nice evening, a nice day, whatever you're doing. Safe travels and all of that. And I'm going to end this vid with what Walking Street does best. A great performance from a great live band at the excellent Hot Tuna Bar. Thanks for watching once again, and cheers. Oh, I like Guinness as well.